What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Radiant Sports Podcast with me, Sam, and today there's lots been going on. We've had the first match day complete of the Euros, as in everyone's had one game. We finished the first group stage of the T20 World Cup, and it was a big weekend boxing this weekend. Let's crack on straight into it. We'll start off one talking point. Euro 2024 has started, and first round of games, everyone's had their first game. There's been one major upset and arguably one minor, and they're all in the same group, but we'll get to that. I think we'll go group by group. So I think we'll start with Group A: Germany, Scotland, Hungary and Switzerland. So first game last Friday, Germany 5, Scotland 1. Scotland were tragic. They were so bad. I think Germany are good and will go far, but Scotland didn't help themselves at all. Obviously, there's a golfing player quality, but I'm not even sure that was the case. Just watching the game is just, for me, the tactics were all wrong. I thought the way Scotland set up with the back five and the four in front, it just didn't work. With Germany's forward players, you had Havertz, Wirtz, Musiala and Gundogan. They were just kind of running around in the space between the midfield and the centre backs, and if you're playing with wing backs, usually you're expected to mark a winger, but Germany didn't play with wingers, so what are your wing backs there for? You're just wasting two people out wide. For me, I think they should have switched sooner to a back four and brought on someone like Billy Gilmour, especially, who will control the pace of the game, the ball, when Scotland eventually would get it, and would be able to fill out that gap. And for me, the tactics were just wrong, but Scotland were just bad as well. Obviously a red card, but Germany looked pretty good, and on to the next game for them. Also, Switzerland 3, Hungary 1. Expected result, really. Switzerland, second favourites, go through. And there's not much really more to say apart from Germany looked good. Switzerland performed against Hungary like expected, but Scotland looked a lot worse than I think a lot of people would have thought. But need to pick up for their game later on, and see if they can pick up. But Group B, we had Spain, Croatia, Italy and Albania. So tough group this. Spain obviously playing Croatia. They won 3-0. I'd say fairly easily, but I don't think they played as well as they should have done. I think the scoreline flatters them a bit. I think Croatia had chances and missed some chances, and I think two of the Spain goals were mistakes defensively from Croatia. So Spain looked good. I think Croatia underperformed really, and I expect them to come back in their games against Italy and Albania, especially because in that game Italy beat Albania 2-1, went behind to Albania early on. But again, I don't think Italy performed too well as well. So for me, I expect Croatia to perform, pick up performances and beat Italy and finish second in that group. Next, in Group C, we have Serbia and England, Slovenia and Denmark. Sorry, I was getting confused there. I was like, what group is everyone in? Group C, England, Serbia, Slovenia, Denmark, and Denmark drew with Slovenia, which I think disappointing for them. It should be a game they expect to win, especially still having to play England and Serbia. I say Slovenia probably the weakest team in that group, and it was just a dull game. Denmark didn't really perform. Obviously an early goal, but Slovenia going back, and Denmark just didn't look that great to me. And of course England won 1-0. You got the result. You can say plenty more, but for me, it's all about the winning. You got the result. Yes, could have played a lot better. Yes, some players went missing. Yes, some players played extremely well, especially Bellingham. But a win's a win. You got to take that and on to the next game. Just keep winning. If you keep winning, you win a tournament. It doesn't matter how well you play, just win the games. So that was that. Also, in the next group, it is Poland lost 2-1 to the Netherlands. Netherlands were, I'm not sure really. They didn't look super good for me. Poland Poland aren't the best team. Netherlands got lucky, their course coming in the end. But I think there was enough there to be positive for Netherlands going forward into the next games of the group and into the knockout games. I expect them to get there. But I think there's enough there. They got enough ability on the ball, good defence. Because the game they need to win is Austria. I think France, free hit. But yeah, in that other game, France beat Austria 1-0 with an own goal. Austria looked good press, well-drilled team, and it's not something you specifically usually get in a international tournament because you don't spend that much time with the players to drill it in, but it's the Austrian way. It's drilled in through the Austrian Bundesliga. All the players, well, most of the players play for RB Salzburg, so this Red Bull Academy's way of pressing drilled into all of them, and they did that against France. France weren't allowed to have the majority possession, and they just got pressed, but arguably lucky with an own goal. I'm not sure. Mbappe missed a free open goal, basically, should have scored, but apart from that, didn't perform too well. But you got players as good as Kante was amazing. You've got to mention that. He was so good everywhere. It's well a match for me. But yeah, France, again, same with England, a win's a win. I can't argue with that. They're favourites and, well, arguably performed similar to England's, but I don't know. They won't get as much hate, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what's happening in France right now? But in the other group, what are we on? Group E, it is. First game was Romania-Ukraine, and there was a bit of an upset in here. Romania beat Ukraine 3-0 with some banging goals, and maybe, I don't know if they were expected to come bottom. Probably were, I think, odds-wise, but Ukraine looked ass, man. It was like some wonder goals. Ukraine looked good at the beginning and just lost all hope when they conceded those goals. And Romania, I don't know what more you can say. They just ran for each other. They looked quick on the counter-attack. They broke well, and yeah, just good for them, really. Be interested to see if Ukraine can bounce back, because that's a game they should be winning, so you never know. And again, a major upset in the other game, that group, Belgium lost 1-0 to Slovakia, so tough games for Ukraine. That Slovakia must be, or did Belgium just underperform really a lot. I think they did. Lukaku missed numbers of chances, but they underperformed. But you got to give it to Slovakia, beating Belgium 1-0 and puts himself in a good position to go through, qualify to the knockout round. So the same as Romania, really. 3 points, I'm not sure if it could be enough for best third place, like minimum, but you never know. And be interested to see Romania, Slovakia, see who gets points there, and could have arguably someone qualifying that you don't expect, with Ukraine expected to finish second in that group. But yeah. And then in Group F, the final games of the first round were played last night. Brilliant game this. Turkey beat Georgia 3-1. Scored the third at the end, but it was really close. Georgia had chances to equalise right to the very end. Great game, very open. Turkey got some quality in there, but Georgia looked good. They looked amazing going forward on the counter. They were not the best defensively, obviously. They looked knackered every time they had to chase the ball back and press forward when the Turkish were passing it around their box. But, put good performance. You never know what they could get in other games. And the other game was Portugal 2, Czech Republic 1. Lucky. Portugal got the goal in the end, left it late. They did go 1-0 behind. They didn't play the best, I will say. Again, they got the win, though. That's all that really matters. They've got a quality squad. Favourites go quite far. But, yeah, we'll see. But, like I said, a win's a win. They've got quality players. They just need to perform at the top level. But that's that going into the next round of group games. And looking forward to some more good games. There's been banging goals. In almost every single one of the games has been a good goal. It's been a good tournament with some quality players on show, and yeah, looking forward to the next. Going on to another international tournament, but in the cricket, it is the T20 World Cup still going on, and we've just finished the initial group stage, and now we're on to the Super 8. So now we've got two groups of 4. So Group 1 we have Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh and India. Group 2, England, South Africa, USA and West Indies. And with some of those names I've just read out, some major shocks really. No Pakistan, no New Zealand, and yeah, it's what surprising that is. And USA into the Super 8s, and what an achievement by them. Obviously, it was down to the win in the Super over against Pakistan, but it's great for them. Great for, I guess they're trying to grow American cricket as hosting it there, and the West Indies. But yeah, and again, West Indies also getting through. It's good to see them back close to the top. Bangladesh getting through. It's good, and Afghanistan performing well as well. But now only 2 teams from each group can go through to the semi-final, and for me, I just can't go away from the favourites. These were the 4 I picked for my final 4 anyway. In a couple of pods ago, it was Australia and India go through in Group 1, and England and South Africa go through in Group 2. If it doesn't rain, because obviously England always gets stuffed by the rain in those last couple of days. Lucky to get the Namibia game, some overs in. If they didn't, they were out. But yeah, fully expect those to go through. But some good games happening there. Next, we will go this weekend. It's the Spanish Grand Prix. Had a week off, triple header now. It's what is it? It's Spain. What's the middle one? The Austrian, that's it, and then the Silverstone. 3 weeks in Europe. Some good races are always, well, the British and Austrian are usually good. Spanish can be, but I think they've changed the track in the last couple of years, so it's a bit better. But yeah, just hoping some more good races, some different winners, and more of Ferrari and McLaren and Mercedes catching up to Red Bull, and that's what we want to see. But looking forward to that. And it was, as mentioned earlier, it was a big weekend in boxing, lots of championship fights going on. We'll start off on home soil in the UK at Selhurst Park. It was Chris Billam-Smith against Richard Riakporhe, and Chris Billam-Smith pulled it off. I say pulled it off, fully deserved to win. Underdog going into the fight following his previous loss to Riakporhe. But yeah, he's a dog. Don't know what more you can say. Won on points. He was just better than Riakporhe. Riakporhe looked really poor. Not gonna lie, like maybe his power in his previous fights and how he's matched made him look better than he actually is. There seemed to be a lot of holes in his games by just letting Billam-Smith come on the inside, which is what you want against a big puncher like Riakporhe. But yeah, hopefully Billam-Smith can unify now. Been talks of Zurdo Ramirez. Let's do that, and let's get Joel Patara into another fight. Unify, and then undisputed fights. Let's go. Billam-Smith is always in tough fights. Billam-Smith Ramirez, be a banger, a tough fight, and I mean hopefully you come through that as well. But Riakporhe, poor performance really. I don't know who you put him in next. Maybe I mentioned on my YouTube video, maybe Masternak, obviously losing to Billam-Smith as well. Just see if he still is at that, can sit at the top level at cruiserweight, or yeah, who knows where we can go next. Another fight potentially for Riakporhe in the co-main. You had Isaac Chamberlain lost to Jack Massey. Jack Massey's got lost to Riakporhe. Maybe wants to revenge it. European title fight for Richard Riakporhe. That could be a possibility, but obviously there's plenty of other people that want that opportunity. But yeah, it's good result for Jack Massey. Good fighter. Only losses to the top people at the top level, and again, Isaac Chamberlain's got heart, but I just don't think he's there at that top level. And I think now, I think Sky give Vidal the fight. Now he's a name. He's co-main these type of events. Vidal Riley, give him another step up, and I think Vidal comes through that. But yeah, also Ben Whittaker comes through. Only unanimous decision. Does what he does. Maybe we're starting to see he doesn't have the power to get people out there, or he's just choosing not to. But I don't get why you choose not to. Showboat for all the time in the world, but you want the knockout in the last round at least. But yeah, not getting that. But at least now we'll throw another fight on that card. I think you see a way forward to Ben Whittaker, who his next opponent is, and that was because it was Dan Aziz's comeback fight on this card, an 8-rounder against Sepp, and he drew. And he definitely didn't win. He could have lost, but he got a draw. I think that's where you go now. Ben Whittaker, Dan Aziz. Dan Aziz's name headlined Sky events before, I guess, against Boatsi, obviously the last fight before this. Ben Whitaker, Dan Aziz, and then you can see what level Ben Whitaker is at and get people interested, because people know Dan Aziz, or like, oh, he's actually fighting someone I've heard of now. Let's see what he can do, if he can step it up. And yeah, and again, I think that's the fight's main, Sky Sports main event. And yeah, also in Puerto Rico, Matthias lost his homecoming fight. Liam Paro did it. What a guy. Like, I've liked Paro for a while. I remember the first time I watched him, it was that Brock Jarvis fight. It's meant to be a big all-Australian clash, and he sparked him in one round. Brilliant. Obviously, I had one more fight in between that, and now got his chance on away soil, and he won on points. Brilliant performance. Paro, Australian boxing's thriving right now, and he's still an Eddie fighter. He's a matchroom fighter, so I'm more than likely to see Paro getting a homecoming. You've also got Sky Nicholson, Australian fighters. You could fill up a good Australian card with Paro headlining, Sky defending a world title on there, and yeah, plenty of other fighters out there you could chuck on there as well. And obviously Tim Tszyu obviously just lost his world title, but Australia boxing's looking good, and yeah, plenty of people you can see him in with now. Jack Cattrall is waiting for a chance. Unifications, yeah, he can do anything now, and a good fighter, and he deserves it all. Yeah, and then probably the biggest card of the weekend worldwide, Tank Davis, 8th round KO of Frank Martin. Tank doing what he does, knocking people out. Yeah, like, there's not much more you can say. He's a superstar, man. He knocks people out, sells out arenas, sells pay-per-views. He's top 5 pound for pound. I'd say he's 5th. He can't go any higher, though, until he unifies. He needs some big names on this, and hopefully that's what they're going to next. There's been talks of a Lomachenko unification fight, and wow, take my money. Tank Loma, if he can do what he's been doing to Loma, he's got all-time great status, is very close potentially, and he's only still young in his career, and I think there's so much more he can do, and he's just a brilliant fighter. On the undercard, Benavidez up at light heavyweight, beat Gvodix, and yeah, did what he had to do, points. I think the WBC afterwards asked him, you can't be #1 contender at 2 weights. Are you staying at light heavy, or are you going back down to super middle? He's done the right thing. He's gone back down to super middle, and he's still mandatory for Canelo. They just need to force that fight, man. It's the annoying thing. I don't think WBC are next in the call row. I think it's IBF. But there's talk they might be paying Skull, isn't it, to step aside for that fight. But if not, they have to do that next. But there's talk of Belanga fight, and I think he's the WBA. But still, you're going to have a WBA, then an IBF, and then it's WBC, which is Benavidez. So you could be waiting until sometime next year, and then you might even not fight you still, because he hasn't fought you yet, and I don't think he wants to fight you by asking for 200 million. But you never know. You can only pressure and to get your chance. But yeah. Yeah, other fights, Adames won his world title in there, and Hamza Shiraz, Adames, do it at Wembley on the AJ Dubois card. Get him a world title. I mean, either way, if Hamza Shiraz, he's either getting Eubank Jr. apparently, or Adames for a world title. He's making money, or he's getting a world title. And I think he can then make money and get the world title after, or he can get the world title and make the money after with the Eubank Jr. fight. So it's all looking very rosy for him. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. And oh, no, it's not. There's one thing I will speak about. There is a bit of boxing this weekend, isn't there? It's Birmingham. We have, let me get it up. It's Felix Cash against Tyler Denny, and yeah, it's going to be a good fight. Obviously, Cash has been out for injury for a while. I don't know, it's been like 2 years, I think I saw. It's 2 years since he's been out. And Tyler Denny, obviously, he has a few losses, but he's come back. He's built himself up on Sky. He's got a nice backing from in Wolves. I think this is a Resorts World in Birmingham, but it's still a home fight for Tyler Denny. Can Cash win a European title, which is on the line? Obviously, he's won British before. But yeah, it's hard. Like, levels wise, Felix Cash is better, but time out the ring. His last fight was in 2022. It's been a while, and that was only an 8-rounder because I think he was coming back from injury then. Because I remember the whole time they were building up to the Amo Williams fight. Never happened because Cash he was injured or whatever. I think he's changed trainer as well, but see if he can win a European title now on this. But who knows what the time out the ring's done for him. But Ty Denny, he's a dog. Can he do it? On paper, I'd say no, and I think I've got to go Cash. I think the quality's there. It's just you got to hope the time out the ring hasn't hurt him too much. And in the co-main, good co-main, this Lewis Crocker against Conor Walker. Lewis Crocker, big upcoming fighter out of Ireland. Apparently lined up next. If he can come through, this is the Paddy Donovan fight. That'll be a cracker. All Irish affair. To see who is the best in that division coming out of Ireland. But tough fight, Conor Walker. He's upset some people before. It was just, I think it was Cyrus Patterson he was fighting, wasn't it? And he wasn't expected to win. He won. Great performance. Battered him really. Got another chance on one of these cards, and yeah, it's opportunities for him. He could then go on to another big fight, and but yeah, it's Northern Irish. That's what I was getting confused then, because like they don't put them on the Katie Taylor cards as Irish. We've got Crocker is Northern Irish, and yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to find something here. But yeah, interesting fights on that. And also we have a bit of action in the UFC. I say a bit, it's only a fight night, but it's one of the best fight nights you can get. Over in Saudi Arabia we have sorry, let me get this up. We have Robert Whittaker against there we go, gotta get the name right, Askilorov. I know who he is, I just can't say the name. But yeah, Aliskerov, good fight. Obviously, you may not have seen Hamzat pulled out ill again from this fight. He always pulls out his fights ill for some reason. I don't know what's wrong. Something's not good, but for him. But I hope he gets better. But yeah, Whittaker taking this late notice. Askarov, good fighter. Seen his definitely his last fight. Good performance. Good all round. He's unranked. Tough fight for Whittaker. This could be Askarov's coming out party, like really could, because he is good. But you're up against the former champ, one of the best in the division. You have to be good. Like, this shows the levels. If he is going to be the real deal, you beat Robert Whittaker. If not, I think you can come back and rebuild, because it's Robert Whittaker. It's a tough fight, late notice, but a star could be born this weekend, you never know. Or Robert Whittaker's showing he's still at the top table and deserves a shot at that title. Co-main event, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov. I mean, should be a good fight. Should the fight be happening? No. Pavlovich should be fighting Garn, but Garn's ducking every man and his dog. So they put him in with Volkov. All Russian heavyweight fight. Can Pavlovich come back from the Aspinall loss? I think he will. I think he comes through this fight. Volkov's a good fighter, but Pavlovich's power is unreal. But again, Volkov, quality kickboxer. Ground game's really good, so he could make it interesting if he can get Pavlovich down and see what he's made of on the ground. And yeah, if he's not knocking you out in the first couple of minutes, it'd be very interesting indeed. Kevin Gastelum on the card against D-Rod. Can Gastelum get a win? His favourite for the fight, I think he should. Who else is on here? Johnny Walker fighting Ozdemir. Even fight this. Johnny Walker obviously coming off that loss to Ankalaev. Has he had one in between? Let me double check. I think it's his first fight since that loss. Yeah, there was a no contest and then there's a loss where he got sparked. I don't know, it's just a position. Johnny Walker goes on a run and then loses, and he goes on a run and loses, but if you can put it together, I think. But it's a tough fight. I'm going Walker. Let's go. He'll go on another run again and then lose to one of the top guys, but you never know. And yeah, really good card this. Looking forward to it Saturday night. And yeah, I think that's everything from me. Another brilliant weekend of sport coming. More football, Euros action. England playing tomorrow night. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so they're playing Thursday night, and then the next game is next Tuesday. Some T20 action in the cricket. Hopefully you can do well and progress. We've got some boxing, some UFC, and a Grand Prix this weekend. So looking forward to all. And hope you guys have enjoyed the pod this week. And hopefully see you all next time. Goodbye.